Hello, students. I am Purushottam Vishwakarma, your SST teacher, and today I am going to explain you long answer questions that are asked in your examination in 5 marks related to the chapter Lifelines of National Economy. So we are going to discuss the answers of lifelines of national economy which are asked in 5 marks. We'll discuss the question as well as the answers. So let's begin the session. I have covered very important questions only. So first till end, let's begin. The very first question that is on your screen: analyze why tourism has a bright future ahead in India. It can also be asked in different ways. What is the significance of tourism in India? How important is tourism in India? What is the scope of tourism as trade in India? And you will answer all these questions in the same manner. So let's see the answer. Tourism in India has grown substantially over the last 3 decades. पिछले कुछ सालों में ये बहुत तेजी से ग्रो किया है. Foreign tourists arrivals in the country witnessed an increase of 23.5% during the year 2004 as against the year 2003, thus contributing rupees 21,828 crore of foreign exchange. Over 2.6 million foreign tourists visit India every year. More than 15 million people are directly engaged in the tourism industry. Tourism also promotes national integration, provides support to local handicrafts and cultural pursuits. It also helps in the development of international understanding about our culture and heritage. Foreign tourists visit India for heritage tourism, ecotourism, adventure tourism, cultural tourism, medical tourism, and business tourism. Rajasthan, Goa, Jammu and Kashmir, and temple towns of South India are important destinations of foreign tourists in India. There is vast potential of tourism development in the northeastern states and the interior parts of Himalayas. But due to strategic reasons, these have not been encouraged so far. However, there lies a bright future ahead for this upcoming industry. In this way, you can easily answer such questions. So, what was the question about? This was the question about the significance of tourism as trade in India. The importance of tourism in India. Next question: do you agree the distribution pattern of railway network in India has not been uniform? What do you think? Do you agree the distribution pattern of railway network in India has not been uniform? Give reasons in support of your answer. आप भी नोटिस करेंगे प्लेन में ज़्यादा रेलवे लाइंस बिछाई गई इन कंपैरिजन ऑफ हिली रीजन्स, मार्सी लैंड. So we have to answer this. Let's see the answer. The distribution pattern of the railway network in country has been largely influenced by physiographic, economic and administrative factors. The northern plains with their vast level land, high population density and rich agricultural resources provided the most favorable condition for their growth. However, a large number of rivers requiring construction of bridges across their wide beds posed some obstacles. In the hilly terrains of the peninsular region, railway tracks are laid through low hills, gaps, or tunnels. The Himalayan mountainous regions too are unfavorable for the construction of railway lines due to high relief, sparse population, and lack of economic opportunities. Likewise, it was difficult to lay railway lines on the sandy plain of western Rajasthan, swamps of Gujarat, forested tracts of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Jharkhand. The contiguous stretch of Sahyadri could be crossed only through gaps or passes that are also known as ghats. So this question was related to railway and the spread of railway lines. Now the next question, explain the classification of roadways on the basis of capacity. What is the capacity of different roads? What is the classification? How many kinds of roads are given? We'll study in this answer. So let's see the answer. In India, roads are classified in the following six classes. How many kinds of roads are present in India? Six, according to their capacity. The first one, golden quadrilateral superhighways. The government has launched a major road development project linking Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai by six-lane super highways. The north-south corridors linking Srinagar from Jammu and Kashmir and Kanyakumari to Tamil Nadu. An east-west corridor connecting Silchar, Assam and Porbandar in Gujarat are part of this project. What is the product? The project is Golden Quadrilaterals. The major objective of this super highways is to reduce the time and distance between the mega cities of India. What are the mega cities? Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Mumbai. These highway projects are being implemented by the National Highway Authority of India. What is the short form? NHAI, National Highway Authority of India. National highways, the second one, National highways link extreme parts of the country. These are the primary road systems and are laid and maintained by the Central Public Works, that is CPWD, Central Public Works Department. A number of major national highways run in north, south, and east west directions. The third one, state highways, roads linking a state capital with different district headquarters, are known as the state highways. These roads are constructed and maintained by the State Public Works Department, in short PWD, SPWD, State Public Works Department, where in state and union territories, district roads, these roads connect the district headquarters with other places of district. These roads are maintained by the Jila Parishad. Now the fifth one, other roads, rural roads which link rural areas and villages with towns are classified under this category. Rural roads are known as village roads or other roads. These roads received special impetus under the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana PMGSY, Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana. Under this scheme, special provisions are made so that every village in the country is linked to a major town in the country by an all season motorable where motors can run easily. Border roads. Now, the last one, border roads. Apart from these, Border Roads Organization, BRO, Border Roads Organization, a Government of India undertaking, BRO, Border Road Organization, a Government of India undertaking, constructs and maintains roads in the bordering areas of the country. This organization was established in 1960 for the development of the roads of strategic importance in the northern and northeastern border areas. So this was the importance of six kinds of roadways. Now the next one, roadways are the principal mode of transportation in India. Explain why roadways are the principal mode of transportation in India. क्यों ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग रोडवेज का ही इस्तेमाल करते हैं? ये सबसे ज़्यादा पॉपुलर या प्रिंसिपल मोड ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन क्यों है? लेट्स सी द आंसर. The growing importance of road transport vis-a-vis rail transport is rooted in the following reasons. अब रेल ट्रांसपोर्ट के बजाय हम रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट का इस्तेमाल अधिक क्यों करते हैं? इसके लिए हमको रेल ट्रांसपोर्ट को साथ साथ लेके चलना पड़ेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि रेल ट्रांसपोर्ट की कुछ कमियां हैं. रेल ट्रांसपोर्ट हर जगह इजीली अवेलेबल नहीं है. देयर आर सम रीजंस. लेट्स सी द रीजंस. फर्स्ट वन, construction cost of roads is much lower than that of railway lines. पहली वजह क्या है कि रोड का कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट is much lower than that of railway lines. Roads can traverse comparatively more dissected and undulating topography, crisscross places, zigzag places. Roads can negotiate higher gradients of slopes and as such can traverse mountains such as the Himalayas. ऐसी सिचुएशन में भी ऐसी जगहों पे भी ऐसी एडवर्स कंडीशन में भी रोड्स बनाए जा सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल हिमालयाज. D. Road transport is economical in transportation of few persons and relatively smaller amount of goods over short distances. It also provides door-to-door service. Thus, the cost of loading and unloading is much lower in comparison of railways. Road transport is also used as a feeder to other modes of transport such as they provide a link between railway stations, air and seaports. Whenever you want to go to railway station, how will you go? Via bus, via car, via motorcycle or via taxi. How? On road. If you want to go to airport, how? Via road transport. Seaports, via road transport. That is why it is said, it is aptly said, road transport is also used as a feeder to other modes of transport, such as they provide a link between railway stations, air and sea ports, airport and seaports. Now the next question. Dense and efficient network of transportation and communication is a prerequisite for local, national and global trade of today. Justify the statement with the help of examples. एक अच्छा ट्रांसपोर्ट सिस्टम अगर होता है तो डेवलपमेंट अच्छा होता है. इट इज़ अ प्री रिक्विजाइट, it is a precondition for national and global trade today. How? Let's see the answer. Transport, communication, and trade play an important role in day to day life as they link production with consumption. Production itself becomes easy by transport, communication, and trade as processing site is linked with the sites of raw material. Developed transport, communication, and trade help goods and services being distributed in local, national, and international markets. They not only ensure movement of people, materials, and communication, but also movement of ideas and skill from one region to another. So the development of efficient transport and communication network reflects the development of economy and the country as a whole. These means are called lifelines of a nation's economy. Such is the importance of transport, communication, and trade for the development of a country.